Hi everyone, I'm Conor Patton, the National Auction Manager for Bayleys Real Estate. I'd just like to share a couple of tips, thoughts, ideas with you if you are thinking about bidding at one of our auctions coming up. The first thing I'd like to say though is congratulations to those of you who do invest the time, the effort and sometimes the money to get yourself in that valuable cash and unconditional position to bid. Certainly folks, I would suggest to you it's time well spent, and I'll tell you why. The first thing is that by coming to auction day, you get to deal with our owners in their most motivated sense. They put a red ring around their calendar for auction day. That's the day they want to talk to buyers. They're in a position where they will listen seriously to what you put forward. We understand certainly most people are imposed by what they can pay or what they're willing to pay for that particular property. And whilst I can't guarantee what's going to unfold for you, what I can say is having met thousands of owners over the last few years, come auction day, they are most interested to hear what serious cash and unconditional buyers have to say because they want certainty. The second thing I would say to you folks is by being certain, cash and unconditional, you get to put yourself ahead of a larger group of buyers who are often not in that fortunate position for whatever reason. They have not completed their homework, their due diligence. Agents normally have a long list to call after an auction if it wasn't to sell, and you could put yourself into a more competitive environment, one that is far less transparent after the auction in terms of offers going back and forth, multi-offer processes. They don't offer the transparency, the certainty that you have at an auction. So I would always recommend, if you found the property you like and it's going to auction, do the homework and you'll reap the results from it. When you have found a property that you're interested in bidding on at auction, certainly I suggest folks that you do your homework, and I don't just mean due diligence on the property itself, I mean about the auction environment. So if you haven't been to auctions before, go and visit some before the one you are scheduled to bid on. You'll get an understanding of the lingo, the terms, the process, the different things that can unfold. And the more you familiarize yourself with them, the less nervous you'll feel about your own auction when it comes to that time. Because auction is the only environment where you get the chance to have a psychological edge over your competitors. It doesn't actually always come down exactly to budget. The way that you behave and bid at the auction can be very powerful and could make the difference for you, ultimately securing your next home or property. Some good tips to know, certainly folks, to get there early rather than late. You don't want to be stressing about that, even if your auction isn't the first one up in that particular catalogue for the day. Get to some earlier ones, get yourself positioned, talk to the agent, ask them lots of questions, let them know that you're here to bid, and find out any other information about the property specifically before the auction starts. When the auctioneer does ask for an opening bid, I always recommend bidders open the bidding. It gets that first one out of the way, the nerves. It's easier from that point. It also signals to other parties that you're confident, that you're strong. As I mentioned before, of course, I know you're going to have a budget in mind, but actually how you bid up to that point could make the difference for you. If indeed you're lucky enough to be in a fortunate position where you were the only bidder and you could talk to the agent beforehand about whether that's a possibility, folks, I would certainly suggest that you place a bid so that you get the chance to negotiate with the auctioneer there and then. I've seen some bidders before not understand the process. They've sat back on their hands, not bid, thinking they're in a better position if it passes in. But there are a couple of reasons I would recommend against that. The first is if you put yourself in the owner's shoes, they're ready to sell on the day. If you feel like all of a sudden now you're going to pull back, it doesn't engender them to actually negotiate with you in good faith after the auction. So getting the vendors on side is an important part of any negotiation. Secondly, I would say to you, again, the fact that the owners are motivated to do a deal there and then with cash buyers. Sometimes we literally have conditional buyers in the room hoping it doesn't sell who immediately make offers, and you could immediately find some competition for yourself that you could have got in front of by simply bidding and negotiating with the auctioneer on the day. If bidding is flowing along nicely and you're bidding against other parties, try a couple of strategies, either bidding more than the auctioneer is asking for. It might sound, okay, I'm spending more money, but actually you might be putting off other competitors and they stop bidding earlier than they would have because they feel you're so strong and confident. If they're thinking about bidding, you could actually bid on yourself again, placing 2 bids in a row. Once again, that's showing confidence, showing strength that you're there to own it. It might psychologically be the edge over those competitors. You can always try and put out different numbers or unique numbers. Sometimes we see those as auctioneers. Happy to deal with those. So any strategy that you can think of to try and break up some of the scene of the auction and put things to you, we're happy to try and work alongside that. And all of these little things can sometimes make the difference for you as a buyer. So try them, be confident, and folks, it could make the difference for you in securing your next home or property. I hope you find some of that information helpful. Of course, you can always reach out directly to me or any of our auctioneers if you'd like to know more about the auction process. Of course, you could ask specifically the listing agent as well. We are there to facilitate, to make the process as seamless and as easy for both sides. So certainly folks, reach out to us. Otherwise, good luck in your bidding and look forward to working with you in the auction room soon.